The knock came at 3 a.m., not the gentle tap of a friend, but the brutal hammering of fists that shattered the Moscow night. Maria Volkov pressed her ear against the wooden door, her heart thundering as she heard her neighbor Dmitri's voice. "Open up. We know what you've been hiding." The same man who'd shared tea with her family just yesterday was now leading the mob that would destroy her life. 6 months earlier, life in their cramped communal apartment had been different. Maria taught mathematics at the local school while her husband Pavel worked at the factory. Their neighbors were like family old. Dmitri from apartment 3B would fix their broken pipes. Young Anna from 2A would babysit their daughter Katya. They shared meals, celebrated holidays, and survived Stalin's harsh winters together. But paranoia was spreading through the Soviet Union like a deadly disease. Stalin's Great Purge had begun, and suddenly everyone was suspect. Teachers, factory workers, party members, no one was safe from accusations of being an enemy of the people. The newspapers screamed about traitors and spies hiding among ordinary citizens, and fear began poisoning every conversation, every glance. It started with whispers. Maria noticed how conversations stopped when she entered rooms. Anna avoided eye contact, even little. Katya came home from school asking why her teacher had called her father a dangerous intellectual. Pavel tried to reassure his wife, but she could see the terror growing in his eyes. Someone had marked their family, and in Stalin's Russia, that was a death sentence. The first arrest in their building was Comrade Petrov from 4C. The NKVD dragged him away at dawn, while his wife screamed. By evening, his own brother had signed a denunciation claiming Petrov was a counter-revolutionary. The message was clear: inform on others, or become the target yourself. Trust became a luxury no one could afford, and neighbor turned against neighbor in desperate self-preservation. Maria discovered the truth by accident. While cleaning the communal kitchen, she overheard Dmitri talking to Anna. "The Volkovs have books, foreign books. Pavel reads German. That's evidence enough." Her blood turned to ice. Those books were just mathematics texts Pavel used for his factory calculations. But in the climate of terror, any foreign language was suspicious. They were being set up. That night, Pavel wanted to run. "We'll take Katya and flee to my brother's village," he whispered. But Maria knew better. The entire country was a prison now. There was nowhere to hide from the all-seeing eye of the state. Instead, she made a choice that would haunt her forever. She would strike first. She would denounce Dmitri before he could destroy her family. It was survival, nothing more. The next morning, Maria walked to the local NKVD office with trembling hands. She told them about Dmitri's suspicious late-night meetings, his critical comments about grain shortages, his possession of religious icons. Every word was a lie, but lies had become the currency of survival. The officer smiled coldly as he wrote down her statement. "Comrade Volkov, you've done your patriotic duty." But Dmitri was faster. While Maria was at the NKVD office, he was organizing the other tenants. He told them the Volkovs were dangerous intellectuals, probably German spies. Anna, terrified for her own safety, agreed to search their apartment. They found Pavel's mathematics books, a few letters from relatives abroad, and most damning of all, a photograph of Pavel's grandfather in a czarist uniform. The mob gathered that night. These were the same people who'd been friends just weeks ago, but fear had transformed them into something monstrous. Old Mrs. Kozlova, who used to bring Katya candy, now screamed about how the Volkovs had always acted superior. The baker who'd given them extra bread during shortages now claimed they'd been hoarding food. Friendship meant nothing when survival was at stake. When the pounding stopped, Maria opened the door to find 20 familiar faces twisted with manufactured rage. Dmitri held up the photograph like evidence in a trial. "Enemies of the people," he shouted, "counter-revolutionary scum." The crowd surged forward, ransacking their tiny room, destroying everything they'd built. Pavel was dragged away, still in his nightclothes, never to return home. The irony was bitter. The next week, Dmitri himself was arrested. Someone, perhaps Anna, perhaps another desperate neighbor, had denounced him for organizing an illegal assembly in the courtyard. The machine of terror consumed everyone, even its most eager participants. Maria watched from her window as the same mob that had destroyed her family now celebrated Dmitri's downfall with equal fervor. Years later, after Stalin's death, some survivors would try to make sense of what had happened. How had ordinary people become monsters? How had neighbors who'd shared bread become executioners? The answer was simple and terrifying. When the state makes everyone guilty, everyone becomes both victim and perpetrator. The Great Purge didn't just destroy individuals, it shattered the bonds that held society together. Maria survived, but at an unimaginable cost. Pavel never returned from the camps. Katya grew up fatherless, forever suspicious of authority and friendship alike. The communal apartment was eventually demolished, but the psychological scars remained. A generation learned that survival meant betrayal, that loyalty was deadly, that your closest friend might become your executioner at a moment's notice. The Great Purge officially ended, but its lessons lived on. Trust, once broken on such a massive scale, takes generations to rebuild. The children who witnessed their parents' betrayals grew into adults who could never fully believe in human goodness. They passed their paranoia to their children, creating a legacy of suspicion that outlasted the Soviet Union itself. Some wounds never heal. They just get passed down. Today, as we watch history repeat itself in different forms around the world, we must remember Maria's story. When leaders encourage citizens to report on their neighbors, when fear becomes a tool of control, when ideology matters more than humanity, the pattern is always the same. The Great Purge reminds us that civilization is fragile, and ordinary people are capable of extraordinary evil when pushed by terror. Don't let history repeat itself in ignorance. Subscribe to our channel for more untold stories of human courage and betrayal that shaped our world. Hit the notification bell so you never miss the shocking truths that textbooks often leave out. These stories matter because understanding the past is the only way to protect our future. Your subscription helps us bring these crucial stories to light. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.